Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. On behalf of the Bucks County Commissioners, I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to congratulate those row officers and judges who have won their seats and congratulate them on the taking of their oath of office today. We are filming this, so it is going to be recorded and sent out over Facebook. And so thank all those who are looking at it now or who are going to be looking at it in the future. As we all know, running for office can be a very difficult thing. Certainly we have a mixture of people here, some who had done this before and some who are winning their first seat. It takes a lot to put your name on the ballot. It takes a lot, not just in terms of the time, the energy, sacrificing time with family, friends, to go through the campaign. Also, it takes a lot to, find out exactly how many people in this county don't like you. And so I congratulate anybody who makes that choice to put their name on the ballot and have their neighbors and friends and strangers pass judgment upon them, even though most of them don't really know who you are. And so thank you for volunteering to serve your community. For those who have done this before and have been doing it, thank you for continuing to serve your community. I look back a little bit, being the history teacher, at history, thinking about how we started here as first a colony and then obviously a state, a commonwealth. William Penn obviously talked about this colony being the seed of America. And how true that is, that our history has shown so much about how Pennsylvania has been what created this country, what made this country great, not just the founding of the nation, a couple dozen miles down the road in Independence Hall, the Constitution, so many of the battles that created this nation in the Revolution, Civil War, so much of the pioneering work that made us an industrial and technological powerhouse, so much that has made us the greatest country on earth started here. And starting in that time, 1681, 1682, there were people who stepped up to serve their community. There were people who made the choice to be part of the leadership for all the citizens of this Commonwealth. William Penn talked about governments being like clocks, that they go from the motion citizens give them. And let the citizens be good, and the government cannot be bad. If it is ill, they will cure it. And so I want to, before I start off here with the pledge and then pass on to getting the program started, just end with a quote from William Penn, wishing, especially here as we begin the new year, that we may all live always together as neighbors and friends. Else what would the great God say to us, who hath made us not to devour and destroy one another, but to live soberly and kindly together in the world? I will ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we've had a couple changes in program in terms of who's going to be the MC. Joe's our third choice. And so I will happily turn it over to the Vice Chair of the Bucks County Republican Committee to lead us the rest of this program, Mr. Joe Cullen.
Thank you, Commissioner Harvey. First and foremost, I am pinch hitting today I am the third choice. Originally it was supposed to be Commissioner DiGirolamo, as many of you know in this room, Commissioner DiGirolamo experienced a loss in his family. His sister Janice suddenly passed away. So before we go any further, I was wondering if we could have a moment of silence for the DiGirolamo family during this time. Thank you. Today's events was supposed to be emceed by our chairwoman, Pat Poprick, but I got a call at about 8:30 saying I was exposed. So can you come up and emcee the event, which I'm actually very honored and privileged to stand before you to emcee this event. And I wanted to thank the Bucks County Commissioners and the administration and staff for their graciousness and help in coordinating this event in less than ideal circumstances. We had many changes due to the COVID surge, and we appreciate all their cooperation and help with getting this together. I'd also like to acknowledge our bench here, President Judge Bateman, Judge McHugh, Judge Bowman, and Judge-elect Kaur. Thank you for attending today. Today, we're going to first start off with the Star Spangled Banner. We were supposed to have a singer here, but we can't. I think he's a little late. So we're going to move forward with the program with another version of the Star Spangled Banner. Please rise. Next, we are going to have the prayer and invocation performed by Christopher Rue, sixth grader at the Plumsteadville Christian School. Christopher?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this special day of inauguration of our elected officials. We pray for their strength and wisdom as they serve the citizens of Bucks County. May your divine light shine over them as you guide their decisions, and may those decisions promote peace, justice, and equality for all. Let us remember that our rights come from you, O God, and that the government can neither assign nor take away those rights. Lord, bless these individuals as they go forth into their new roles. Bless them so that they can perform their duties honestly and honorably, governing with the principles of fairness, truth, and liberty. And bless all of us, your children, that we can come together to support our officials and each other in unity and community. In your name, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Christopher. Before we get started with the swearing in, I just wanted to echo what Commissioner Harvey had mentioned about public service and these elected officials. We're very fortunate to have a group that's being sworn in today that are dedicated not only to their families, but to the community. And being vice chairman of the Bucks County Republican Committee, when somebody runs for office, particularly on a county level, you get to spend a lot of time with people. And I can tell you, during that time, I came to know these folks very well. I can attest that these are people of impeccable character, people that will serve the citizens of Bucks County very well. And I'm very proud to stand here today to be with them as they're sworn in to their respective offices. So what we're going to do for the swearing in is I'm going to make remarks about each one of the new row officers. And then I'd ask them, after I'm done my remarks, to come forward with their, for their oath of office. Our first person to be sworn in today is Colleen Christian. Colleen comes from a family dedicated to service, including a distinguished service in our nation's armed forces by her father, Captain David Christian, and her son. Unfortunately, Captain Christian can't be with us today. I know he's watching there, and I know he's extremely proud of his daughter. So I just want to let you know we're thinking about you, Captain Christian. Colleen served her community as one of the youngest women elected as a township supervisor in Upper Mayfield history. Today, she carries on the tradition of service, this time working on behalf of all Bucks County as our new prothonotary. And Colleen will be sworn in today by Judge Bateman. Yeah.
How's that? And who do you have with you?
So I am so lucky today. I have my mom, my oldest daughter, Maeve, and my youngest daughter, Brenna.
And you have a son that's missing?
My son is, he's in the Army, so he had to return to the West Coast. So Uncle Sam wanted him today.
All right, well, thank you for letting him serve. I know he's an adult, and we thank him for his service as well. And we also know, as Mr. Cullen pointed out, your father served, and we're grateful for his service as well. I think what's important to note, not that I want to spend too much time on him, is he's the most highly decorated Bucks County resident of the Vietnam War. Is that correct?
Yes, and he was my biggest campaign worker, so I
So
was very, very lucky.
I'm sure of all the awards and commendations he's received, today's a special day for him.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am
Would you
ready.
place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me, please? I, Colleen Christian,
I, Colleen Christian,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and
States,
the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
the Constitution of this
and
Commonwealth,
that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity,
that
that I have not paid or contributed
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
to procure my nomination or election,
to procure my nomination or election,
except for proper expenses
except for proper expenses
expressly authorized by law,
expressly authorized by law.
that I have not knowingly violated any election law
I have not knowingly violated any election law
of this Commonwealth
of this Commonwealth
or procured it to be done by others
or procured it to be done by others
in my behalf,
on my behalf,
that I will not knowingly receive,
that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or
of
non-performance
any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation
other than the compensation
allowed by law.
allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Please take your masks off. Okay, Okay, so Judge Bateman, they said I could say something.
Yes, please do.
So first, I'd like to thank Judge Bateman. I am so humbled and thankful to be here today, and I want to thank everyone in this room. As Judge Bateman mentioned, I'm really missing my dad, Dave Christian, today, and my son, Jay Burke, who had to return to the Army, as we mentioned. My dad and my sister Casey are at home with COVID, unfortunately. And if I tell you folks, they were my best campaign workers. If you're running for office, get those two. So I just want to say a shout out to them since I know they are watching, and then thank my lovely family and my extended family who came. I am honored, I feel blessed, and I'm really looking forward to a wonderful work year with all of you. And I just want to say, let's go 2022. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful year. So thank you so very much.
Hold on. You can sign. You can sign right there.
It's official.
It's official. You just sign here.
My hand's shaking a little bit.
Okay, thank you. That's it. Good. Thank you. Am I next? All right.
Thank you, Colleen. Next is our District Attorney, Matt Weintraub. While he may be a veteran of our class of row officers, Bucks County is very fortunate to be welcoming back District Attorney Matt Weintraub for another term. His dedication to the people of this county is remarkable and has made a deep impression on all of us. His commitment to justice, but also fairness, is a critical quality needed as a prosecutor. Being tough on crime while attacking the root of the opioid crisis in our county, while also starting and expanding remediation programs to provide guidance and treatment to those who need it the most. Matt's example serves as a model for district attorneys across Pennsylvania. I'm proud to introduce Matt Weintraub, not only as our next district attorney, as my friend, and I'd ask him to come up for his oath.
All right. Done this before.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you.
Thank you as well.
All right. You want to introduce your lovely wife?
Certainly, this is my wife, Kathleen, and my two children here, my oldest, Shayna, and my youngest, Chloe, are also present.
Well, congratulations, and once again, thank you for asking me to do this. I think Mr. Cullen said it perfectly. What people don't realize, however, is when the court needs something and we call the district attorney, Matt doesn't ask why or how. He just says, we'll get it done. And it's always been my privilege to work with the district attorney's office, and we get the full cooperation every time we call. We might argue later, but we get cooperation. Anyway, congratulations again. You ready to take the oath?
Yes, I am.
All right, would you repeat after me? I, Matt Weintraub,
I, Matt Weintraub,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and
the
defend
Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this
and
Commonwealth,
that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
that I have not paid or contributed
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
to procure my nomination or election,
to procure my nomination or election,
except for necessary and proper expenses
except for necessary and proper expenses
expressly authorized by law.
expressly authorized by law.
I have not knowingly violated any election law
I have not knowingly violated any election law
of this Commonwealth,
of this Commonwealth,
or procured it to be done by others
or procured it to be done by others
in my behalf,
in my behalf,
that I will not knowingly receive, directly or indirectly,
that I will not knowingly receive directly or indirectly
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than compensation allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
I need you to sign. Right there, please.
Thank you.
All right, you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, you may want to sit down for this.
Typical lawyer.
First of all, Joe, that was quite a speech. I don't know if you wrote that yourself, but it was. I'm very appreciative of your kind words. I know you're pinch hitting, and that can sometimes be stressful. And Judge Bateman, you know, I lovingly refer to you as my rabbi. You had a lot to do with me being here in the first place, for good or for ill, I would say to the rest of you. And I will forever be grateful to you for that. Next, and frankly, well, first I'd like to thank God. I think God had a lot to do with putting us all where we need to be, when we need to be there. And anytime anybody ever comes up to me and tells me they're praying for me, I tell them I need it and it really helps. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my family. I come from a wonderful family, and hopefully I've paid that blessing forward, but my mom and my dad were tremendous role models for me growing up, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without my mom, my dad, my brothers, and my sister, all of whom I love very much. But really, when it comes down to it, the people that you ride or die with are your immediate family, and we sometimes tend to take our family for granted because we're out there on the road, we're out there soaking in all the accolades and having all the fun and eating too much cake and pie, while our family is in the background and we just expect the kids to be taken to school and to their doctor's appointments and the house to run right. And that's really, it's a rare thing that you should never take for granted, but we often do. So to Shayna and to Chloe, I'm very grateful for you putting up with really an awful lot of nonsense this past year and frankly the past 5 years. And I guess 20 and 16 years, as long as you've been alive, from me. And Kathleen, I'm very, very grateful to you because you're my rock. And I would never be able to be in this fortunate position without you. I owe you an awful lot. Were it not for the Bucks County citizens, whose mission I'm sworn to protect and serve every day, I wouldn't be here. And as I've said to every voter, any job worth having is worth fighting for, and I mean that. People always ask me, well, what does justice look like? And I remember when I graduated law school, it was very binary to me. It was like you're either on this side or that side, the light or the dark. And it was oversimplification to say, well, we lock up the bad guys, we wear the white hats. But I've really evolved in this. And I feel that there are no sides. We're all on the same side. And that's to seek justice for all individuals. Or whether it's our most vulnerable victims, which we do every day, or whether it's to tailor justice to each specific defendant, because they're people too. And frankly, it's even bigger than that. Our mission is not just to seek justice, but to keep people safe, to protect people. And I think about what's going on just to the south of us, not to get maudlin about it, but in Philadelphia, where it's so casual that some people just accept that violence is a part of their life. Well, we don't accept that here in Bucks County. And that's because we here in Bucks County are exceptional. We are special here. And that's something we can never take for granted. But it's because of the men and women who I see arrayed in the back, and some of my colleagues here, and our new sheriff, and our judges, and the defense attorneys, frankly, that makes us exceptional, that makes us great. I am very proud of our past accomplishments this last 5 years, frankly, as Judge Bateman knows and remembers. I was appointed first by the Board of Judges and then elected, and now a second time. But we've revived cold case murders, and we've prosecuted cold case murders. And yes, Jen Shorn, I'm looking at you. And we've created from whole cloth drug diversion programs, and so people can get treatment at their earliest stage. And Joe Cullen pointed this out, that it's critical that we get the crime at its root so that we hopefully can never see these people again because they're healthy and contributing part of the fabric of our society. Same with mental health diversion and treatment. And frankly, I'm so proud of the team that I've served with as we serve through, God willing, a once-in-a-lifetime COVID pandemic, civic unrest, and specific crises like the Solberry case, the Grace Packer case, and so many more that I can't mention. And people ask, well, what are you going to do for the future? What's going to be your future goal? Well, we don't want to rest on our laurels. We want to perpetuate those gains that we've made in treating the whole person and making sure that every person is protected, whether you're our most vulnerable victim or a criminal defendant or somebody who just comes into contact with the criminal justice system even one time as a witness, as a juror, or as a victim. But we want to focus on gun violence and straw purchases in the next 4 years while maintaining these past gains and accomplishments. And you'll have to forgive me, I did not commit this to memory, but I think that this quote, which is lengthy, not as long as the oath, but it's pretty long, is very important because to me it signifies our mission at the District Attorney's Office. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man or woman stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man and woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends him or herself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. This obviously is a very famous passage from Theodore Roosevelt, The Man in the Arena, and you can see that I expanded it because I am surrounded by men and women whom I am grateful to serve with, whose mission is to protect all of us here in Bucks County, the incredible men and women in the arena, my district attorney, our district attorney staff, district attorney management, and my executive assistant, who will be retiring at the end of this week, Peg Notaro. So I'm grateful that you've allowed me a couple extra minutes here to tell you how I feel, and I am especially grateful for the opportunity to serve you once again for 4 more years. Thank you all. God bless you all.
Thank you, Matt. Next up is our Recorder of Deeds, our friend Dan McPhillips. Few people exemplify service to their community better than Dan McPhillips. This dedication to our community includes work with the Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Bucksmont Chamber of Commerce, the Association of Township Officials, and service as a Warminster Township Supervisor. Dan has the experience we need to serve as our next Recorder of Deeds, and I know he will serve in his new role with the same commitment and dedication that he brings to everything he does. On a personal note with Dan, he had a heck of a 2021. I know most people, look back at 2021 and think about, but I'm very happy to say Dan won his election, number one, and number two, got engaged to his lovely fiance who's with us today. So Dan, please come forward for your oath.
So are we doing a wedding after this?
Actually, I am married.
Oh,
Yeah, I am.
that's what I thought. Yeah, he is married.
Yeah, I am married.
Yeah, that's what I thought when he told me earlier. I thought I had it backwards. So you want to introduce your wife?
Absolutely. My wife, Kumika. I also have here, I also have my sisters, Kathleen and Anne Patrice, my brother-in-law, Paul, and my mother-in-law is with us here today.
All right, it's great. As Joe pointed out, Dan's from Warminster. That's where my wife is from. And they both went to Archbishop Wood. I won't tell you who graduated earlier, but Dan and I also went to the same college. We graduated from LaSalle College. And I can tell you that I graduated much earlier than you did. But in any event, we're glad to have you here. Would you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me? I, Dan McPhillips,
I, Dan McPhillips,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
that I have not paid or contributed
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or invaluable thing
to procure my nomination or election,
to procure my nomination or election,
except for necessary and proper expenses
except for necessary and proper expenses
expressly authorized by law,
expressly authorized by law,
that I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any election law of this Commonwealth,
any election law of this Commonwealth,
or procured it to be done by others
or procured it to be done by others
in my behalf,
on my behalf,
that I will not knowingly receive,
that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or invaluable things
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or
of
non-performance
any act or duty
or any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And your signature right here, please.
Signature right here. Perfect.
You have a few words you want to say?
Yeah.
Podium's yours.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I can tell you that I certainly did not get to this point on my own, that it took a lot of help and support from a lot of people, and there are a lot of people that I need to thank. I consider myself somewhat of an intelligent person, so I'm going to start by thanking my wife, Kumika. Kumika, you make me a better person, and I'm blessed to have you in my life. I'd also like to thank my family, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my sisters Anne and Kathleen. My sisters Anne and Kathy have been with me since my first campaign, back when I ran for student government at Archbishop Wood. They came up with a great campaign strategy. The election took place during homeroom, so they sent me to school with cupcakes with my name on it. The election was a landslide. I think the campaign budget was like $10. Anne and Kathy, thank you for everything that you do for me. Next, I'd like to thank Pat Poprick and Joe Cullen for your support and your guidance. I'll forever be grateful for you. That campaign was a little more than $10, but thank you. Also to my friends who came out here today. And I also want to thank someone who really, it's crazy to think that I've been friends with him close to 10 years now. And Matt Weintraub, the advice and the guidance that you've given me, I truly appreciate it. And you truly do make those around you better people. And thank you, Matt. And I am looking forward to working with my fellow rail officers. I'm also looking forward to working with the gifted and talented people at the Recorder of Deeds office. We have a lot of really good people who work here in Bucks County. I can tell you that firsthand because I've had the opportunity to work here in Bucks County for the last 6 years. And I want to thank people like Tom Panzer and Don Petrilli for giving me the opportunity to work here in Bucks County. Thank you, and I thank you all for coming out today. Take care.
Thank you, Dan. Next up is the comedian of our row officers. That's our sheriff-elect, Fred Herron. For decades, Fred has served on the front lines of keeping our community safe. In Ben Salem Township, he helped to develop and train one of the finest police departments in the entire Commonwealth, earning numerous awards and accreditations for his work there. Now he brings that experience and enthusiasm here to Doylestown as Bucks County's newest sheriff. His commitment to excellence in protecting our community will help to keep Bucks County the truly wonderful place it is to live, work, and raise our family. At this time, I'd ask Fred to come forward. He will be sworn in by Judge Denise Bowman.
Thank you. All right, you want to introduce your family?
I do. So we got yelled at on the campaign trail. Dan and I both got yelled at by the Rose and the party. They said, and Stacy Mulholland and my team, they said, you guys are involved in a campaign and you two dopes just got engaged. So it was probably not the best timing according to the Republican Party, but you were wrong this time. So I have my fiance, Lisa DeSimone, is with me. She's just amazing. I never thought this would happen to me again. I met someone and she just, I don't even know what to say. But she's probably gonna be, but you think, can we just do it now and get married? Is that gonna be a problem? You can't.
There's some additional paperwork.
Some, just a little, not more than the county made me fill out, so Lisa's like, no, not yet. And then, of course, my daughter Miranda, who also got engaged during the campaign trail.
Congratulations.
And Lisa's daughter, my stepdaughter to be, got engaged. So we're gonna really have to, we're gonna have to talk about the sheriff's salary because this is gonna be a problem for me. I should have thought of that before I left Ben Salem. But my daughter Miranda, who's 25, has also, we've had a heck of a ride. A lot of stuff in 25 years that a lot of people know about. And I just can't imagine standing here without the two of them. So thank you both. Probably too long, right?
It's all right. It's all right. All right, why don't you come up nice and close, put your hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Ready? All right. Repeat after me. I, Fred Herron,
I, Fred Herron,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
and that I will discharge my duties,
I will-
the duties of my office,
I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity,
That I have not paid or contributed,
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
to procure my nomination or election,
to procure my nomination or election,
except for necessary and proper expenses
except for necessary and proper expenses
expressly authorized by law.
expressly authorized by law,
That I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any election law of this Commonwealth
any election law of this Commonwealth
or procured it to be done by others
or procured it to be done by others
on my behalf.
on my behalf,
That I will not knowingly receive,
that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance,
for the performance or
non-performance
non-performance
of any act or duty pertaining to my office
of any after duty pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, here you go. All right, one more. I pronounce you man and wife. All right, you have a few words you want to say?
Yeah, just a few, wasn't it? I just wanted to thank everybody. Most people know me. I don't mind speaking, but I really wasn't thinking of saying anything today. Obviously, the two ladies to the left of me, I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine life without either one of them, especially my daughter and now my wife-to-be, Lisa. But also the row officers. You know, we've said it on the campaign trail. You know, it's my first election. I don't know what it was like to run before, but these folks are now my close friends, not just my colleagues and coworkers here in Bucks County, but I know the people of Bucks County are going to get incredible service for the next 4 years and beyond. What they bring and some of the ideas we've talked about, and especially working with my good friend Matt Weintraub, to continue to make Bucks County safe. I appreciate the sheriffs that are here today, the deputies. We are going to continue this office and make it the model of America. You know, I've been very blessed in Bensalem. A lot of people have said to me, "Are you crazy leaving the land of Oz, you know, to go up to the county?" And the answer is no. I'm excited to be up here. I'm excited to be doing so much more, not just for the 64,000 people of Bensalem, but now for everybody in Bucks County, working with the men and women of the Bucks County Sheriff's Office, working with all the other elected officials, working with everybody in Bucks County. It is going to be incredible, some of the things that are going to happen in this county, and I am so grateful. Bucks County, I didn't really know much about it 34 years ago. I had to take out a map to find the corner of Byberry and Huville Road where I put an application in to be a Bensalem police officer. And my parents had left New York City because of crime, and they went to Florida, and I wasn't going to Florida. And I said, well, I rented a house with 3 other guys from college in Levittown in Golden Ridge. I said, let me just stay here for a couple of years and figure out where I'm going to wind up. Well, I moved from Bensalem, to Doylestown. That's as far as I got 34 years later. So I love Bucks County. It is my second home. It is now my home. We're not leaving Bucks County. Lisa won't let me. And just thank everybody for everything, and especially all the voters for believing in us. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Fred. Our next row officer and our final one is Pam Van Blunk. About a year ago at this time, I believe almost to the day, I had called Pam on behalf of Pat Poprick, and I had called her and said, "Hey, Pam, would you be interested in screening for the position of controller?" And she said, "Sure," which we were a little shocked about, but extremely happy. And Pam came forward and did a wonderful job. Several times during the campaign, I would check in with her and her husband, who's also my friend, Hank Van Blunk, and say, "How do you like running for countywide office?" And inevitably, they always kept a positive, optimistic outlook on things. But we're really lucky to have her. Bucks County taxpayers deserve a fiscal watchdog who will work each and every day to protect their hard-earned tax dollars from any potential waste, fraud, and abuse. As our new controller, Pam Van Blunk has the experience we need to do exactly that. From a single mom who put herself through law school to owning her own law practice here in Bucks County, Pam has the life experience and the professional background required for this important job. So at this time, I'd ask Pam to come forward with her husband, Hank, to be administered the oath by Judge Ray McHugh, the former controller of Bucks County.
All right, Pam, why don't you introduce your Bible holder?
My husband, Hank Van Blanc.
All right. I know Hank for a long time, so, all right, you ready to take the oath?
Yes.
All right, repeat after me. I, Pamela Van Blanc,
I, Pamela Van Blanc,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
that I have not paid or contributed
that I have not paid or contributed
or promised to pay or contribute,
or promised to pay or contribute,
either directly or indirectly,
either directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
to procure my election,
to procure my election,
except for necessary and properly expenses,
except for necessary and proper expenses,
that I have not knowingly violated
that I have not knowingly violated
any election law of this Commonwealth
any election law of this Commonwealth
or procured it to be done
or procured it to be done
by others in my behalf,
by others on my behalf,
that I will not knowingly receive,
that I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office,
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation
other than the compensation
allowed by law.
allowed by law.
Congratulations,
Thank
Madam
you.
Controller.
Well, I wasn't really prepared to make a speech, but I would like to thank all of the voters of Bucks County, even the ones that didn't vote for me. I'd like to thank Chair Pat Poprick and Vice Chair Joe Cullen. Of course, it goes without saying that I would like to thank my husband, Hank Van Blanc. I simply would not be here if it was not for him, for his dedication, his support, his advice, and of course, his love. So thank you, Hank. I'm really excited to be your controller. I am humbled, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to serve all of Bucks County residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Before we conclude with the God Bless America, I just wanted to thank these candidates for their dedication, their hard work, and also to thank their families. As Commissioner Harvey alluded to in the beginning, running for public office, especially on a countywide basis, is very stressful. It's very rewarding, but it's very stressful not only on the candidates, but on their families. And I think you've heard that today from each of the candidates. So on behalf of the Bucks County Republican Committee, Pat Poprick, myself, and our committee people and execs, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for all your hard work and your successes. We think there's going to be great things to come from you folks, and we know you guys will do a good job. So we're going to conclude today with the playing of God Bless America. And again, I'd like to thank the Bucks County Commissioners and their administration for helping put this together. We very much appreciate it. So, thank you.
sun.